Hello everybody, it is Wednesday, February 4th. I just wanted to follow up from yesterday's video. I greatly appreciate all the comments and feedback from everybody. Anybody that even took time to watch. Just appreciate everybody that took the time to comment or just, again, even watch. And just, we know everybody's got a lot going on with their lives. So just really appreciate everybody's support. So how we're going to handle this is if something does get passed on this, we already have an address set up out of state that pretty much any buyer out of state, you're not going to be affected at all. It's just in-state Nebraska buyers here locally that would be affected just because you'd have to go pick it up in a different state. So just know we already got a solution in place if something happens. So I'm really not too worried one way or the other. Obviously, we don't want this to happen, but it is what it is. You got to know your opponent. You know that these people, they don't care at all what we want or think. They know you don't want no sales tax on gold and silver, but they don't care. So that's what it comes down to, is they just care if you're going to run away or basically gore them. That's all any sociopath or psychopath cares about. So that's what we already have a plan in place. And if you are going down to the hearing today, the hearing is at 1:30 and it's in the room 1524 at the Nebraska State Capitol in Lincoln. But yeah, if anybody goes down, greatly appreciate it. I ended up submitting the comments. I just don't have time to listen to rambling nonsense. But I greatly appreciate everybody that takes the time and effort to go down and speak and testify and hopefully keep the good fight of this cause going. Just wanted to answer questions from the last two videos that we've had. So we'll go on the latest video that we just did from the Nebraska 7% sales tax. So somebody asked, what state would you be going to? So we already have an address in Iowa. We have looked at Missouri as well. If you look at Sound Money Defense, they actually rank state by state. Nebraska was number 11 going into the year. Wyoming's number 1, Idaho's number 2. Obviously, we started out in Idaho for a reason. One of the freest places possible to operate in this business. But right now, that's our plan. Iowa's currently not as rated as well as Nebraska. I think they're number 22 in Sound Money Defense. But we'll pull up a link on that to show you. And somebody did ask, some people are looking at, if you type in this information to ChatGPT, it didn't pull up and it wasn't clear on the repeal of the sales tax, but it says right in there. We'll show you this section. We'll pull up and show you so you can read that. But it does actually say in there that it will outright repeal sales tax in Nebraska. Some of the other questions were just basically what are we getting for our taxes, and of course, again, they don't care about this. It's spending will never be halted. Obviously, we know we have a debt-based monetary system. You always have to have more debt than currency in the system. Spending obviously is a problem. It's not a matter of taxes. We can tax every one of us 100% already, and it doesn't make in one bit of difference. We used to run a radio ad that, did you know all the taxes gone to bail out the banks could have paid off every private mortgage in the United States. Every single private mortgage in the United States could have been paid off in 2008 with all the cash gone to bail out the banks. It doesn't, at this point, we're so past the point of no return. We already spend more than we collect in tax revenues and borrow to pay for everything else. It's already a banana republic without bananas. At this point, we just don't have a viable alternative to the U.S. dollar. So that's why, we joke for a while here that the U.S. dollar is the king of the dipshits. We just don't have a viable alternative at the moment. So that's what keeps this game going for a lot longer than what it should. But that is the reality of the situation, and we're just here to provide the solution. We're starting option number 4 today. So back to business, back on point here. So how this is going to work is, again, we're having people, we're just not going to buy everything. So we've been buying proof sets, mint sets, you name it, we've been buying it. We buy diamonds, watches, collectibles, a lot of different things that we just don't put on the YouTube videos that we do buy. So basically, we're just being more picky and choosy about what we want to buy and making sure we have a buyer for it. So that's the whole reasoning and logic. And then again, on the wholesale side, it's taking everybody's minimum 2 weeks plus. Mostly it's 4 to 6 weeks out on silver. So we're just making sure we can have quick avenues for everybody involved. So again, everybody wins when you're able to sell at the highest price for this, and then we have a buyer. But again, Cornhuskers is buying everything like normal, and we're selling everything like normal. This is basic, same transactions we're doing. The only thing is somebody wants to sell me $2 million worth of foreign gold, we want to make sure we got an outlet for it. And then if somebody wants to sell $500,000 worth of 90%, we want to make sure we have an outlet for it. Which these are transactions that have been presented to us in just the last, over the weekend or last few days. So we just want to make sure we got everything aligned so it works out. So that way, everything. Again, right now there's a whole bottleneck, so we're just making sure we can get around that bottleneck and we got a solution. So some of the questions that we got was people asked if we were doing trades. We are going to stop trades. These trades that we've been doing, some of these even out of state, it's just some of these shipments are taking a while to get to us, and then the trades here, it's just not flowing as well as it should. Some people want way too much for certain things, and we're just using our CoinHuskers sell prices and buy. So the only way we'll do a trade is if we have it in stock. So it's got to be our CoinHuskers buy prices and sell prices. That's the only thing we're using to facilitate trade, and it's only things in stock. But if you want us to go out and get a trade and order something or do something that way, we're not going to do that right now. We'll let you know when we open back up for that, but it just hasn't been as smooth and process as it should be right now. So we're not going to take trades. We're not going to do any consignment. I just don't personally believe in it. I appreciate everybody's trust, but right now it's just not something that we want to do. Someone asked if we're doing this to retain customers. No, we're doing this this is the best way to facilitate business. It's do you want us to pay you in 4 to 6 weeks and pay you on the prices at that point? No. We're doing this because I legitimately think this is the best way to handle business. But again, we're going to be doing normal business on nearly everything. It's just I'm not going to buy 100,000 or with a proof of mint sets if I don't have an outlet for it. So that's why we're asking for people to email, so then we can legitimately, it gives us time to plan and adjust. Because before, it's just we got dealers coming from all over dumping a lot on us. We need time to plan accordingly to get these outlets going, especially in a marketplace where everybody's backlogged and it takes so long to process stuff. We're just creating a win-win for everybody here. We've already had a lot of people send us items that they're looking to sell or buy, which is wonderful. If everybody can keep that going, you can send that over, keep sending them. So we started that process last week. Somebody asked when are we starting that, ASAP. So if you can send that over. And again, nearly all this is going to be normal business. Certain items we're going to be picky and choosy on what we buy because we want to make sure we have an outlet. We had, let's just say there was 12 to 15 regular outlets that we had. Well, we're down to several sources that would even pay in a reasonable time. And even on that, live capital comes at a cost. Any live capital, they're buying so much further back. So that's the whole, again, point of this is to try and get the quickest outlets for everybody involved so everybody can maximize buying or selling the profit on this. So the biggest issue that we're already seeing, which we already knew this going into it, the volatility of the price. We've already had people, because the price is up or down, that they want an adjustment on what we're buying and selling. That doesn't work. So one of the biggest things, we're not trying to be difficult here, but we're doing same day quotes. And if somebody doesn't honor the deal that we got in place, so if you're trying to buy a deal or sell a deal and we got a quote in place, if you don't honor that, we're not going to be able to do business for the rest of the year. There has to be a consequence to actions, and that's the only way to solve this. This is the best solution that we can come up with, is that, let's just say you want to buy 1,000 rounds and we tell you that the 1,000 rounds are $90 each. We agree on that. You're going to send a bank wire or send a payment. We have a full receipt agreement in place and you don't pay. Sorry, we can't do business for the rest of the year. That's a deal is a deal. We've honored every single deal, whether it's up or down. We have clear terms of payment. The only time I've ever had an issue with any deals is somebody not paying us, where we have to go back and we give them a nice courtesy. Can you please and thank you pay? This is the time frame, and they don't do it. We don't ever want to get in a situation. Those are not fun. I use an example. One time we had, this was years ago, someone bought 46 gold maples. 3 times they went out of town. We asked them to pay, got upset with me. We're holding the product. We can't be a bank. And a lot of this is we've been a bank. for a lot of dealers, for even on the retail side. Completely different. We really appreciate people buying Cornhuskers bars and waiting. We've got those. We put the 2 weeks, but everybody, we've got it before then. The reason why we do that is we just don't want any questions in that time frame. We just want to get to work and get to making bars. So that's the only drawback that we're seeing so far. But that's the consequence that we're going to have, is that if you do not honor a deal, then unfortunately we can't do business for the rest of the year. So a lot of people ask, do you think this is going to be long-term, meaning the bottleneck in the industry? And yes, I mean, this is going to be a problem for a while. Outside the United States, there's big demand. So you got most of Asia, Australia, Europe. Even this weekend, the largest dealer in Britain took off all their product off their website. Everything was moving quickly there. Bullion Star in Singapore had a $20,000 minimum. So demand is great outside the United States, which is a great sign for where things are going. But just here in the United States, we had so many people selling that it created a bottleneck. And then when the price went down, thankfully we had a lot of people buying. So things in the United States switched quick. But I do see the bottleneck from refiners, and the industry it's a major problem, because we just have, again, a Hasi, Metalor, Pamp, only certain few dealers that are able to, or certain refiners that are able to melt down and make 1,000-ounce Comex bars. So it stinks that our industry is relying on these big players, but it is what it is. It's a rig game all over. The only thing we can do with that is come up with solutions. Even this is going to be a problem all throughout of 2026, it's looking like. So it just gives us an opportunity as an industry to find solutions that are going to work and work around it. But yes, it's going to be a long-term problem. It's looking like, and definitely in the short term, it's going to be a lot of adjustment of figuring out where to price things. You're going to see a lot of different prices all over from dealers and wholesalers, because it's just everybody's adjusting. One person gets loaded up with this product and another person needs this product. It's just going to be a lot of adjustment here, figuring out where to be on things. Greatly appreciate all the questions. To answer the other ones, at some point we're going to do a video and just show you why there's a backlog. So we have a grano machine. We melt stuff on hand here. At some point we'll just do a quick little video, and then you guys can actually see for yourself. This is why things in the process takes, and why there is a bottleneck in the industry, is when you go down to melt things, there's only so much you can do in a day. And we'll do a video just because it's much better to actually physically show you why this is the reason things are where they're at than explain it. So at some point we'll make that happen and we'll get it out for you guys.